when I look at videos, I can't look at a video from somebody that's 10 years old and they telling you like how they became rich. Let's be honest. It's not going to fly. It's not going to work, and it's not going to resonate with most people. I want to talk about how YouTube is making poverty a thing of the past. Basically, I'm gonna just break down the whole thing of poverty. That way, if anybody don't quite understand what I'm going to talk about, it's basically just talking about the poor health standards, lack of financial inequities, just being broke, not having money, lack of funds. I want to talk about this because YouTube is really changing a lot of lives. And the channel, one of the first channels that I started looking at in the beginning was a dude named Dante. I'm going to be real with you. His channel was a channel that was very inspirational because of his story. His story was something that a lot of people are dealing with today, and losing the lack of hope, not having that type of drive. And for some odd reason, he never gave up. So reason why I mention him is because his channel, I was watching when he started talking about the jobs. I wasn't looking for a job, but it came across my timeline. And to talk about how he was going through it. And I believe he was talking about, he was working at Walmart, I believe, or Amazon. I knew he was working a job where he wasn't doing much, but I remember he was in a parking lot pushing carts, so he might have been Walmart. And it made me look at YouTube a lot different because I was looking at his growth, and his growth made me realize how hard work and consistency really does pay off, and it really is helpful to have something that you're building up to. Just to see someone go from talking about their circumstances, about their having a lack of funds and what they was going through in their life. It made me also realize too, you have to really open up and show people that there are better ways other than skipping out and doing something that you do not want to do, that's going to lead you into going down the wrong path and possibly going to jail. You don't want to do that. And I just love his story. Another person, DoorDash. I don't know if I end up coming up on her channel because of Dante, but for some odd reason, I was not clicking on her channel. But then one day I decided to click on her channel, and I was like, wow. Like, when you see these stories about people that are really struggling and what they're going through, they're just talking about their everyday journey or what's going on in their life. And it's crazy because when you see these stories, it make you want to really reevaluate the way you look at things. Like, people are really looking to people like this and others. I don't know everybody else. I just remember those two because those are the two that came across my timeline. And it made me really start putting in overdrive of how I post and start doing more and helping people more like that want to listen to my story. And also my little financial struggles, but it just make you open up and realize that you are not alone out here. You're not alone when it comes to the struggles that you are going through. Like, some people are struggling with work, trying to find a job that pay. I happen to have a job that pays, but I also had an injury that put me out of work. It made me go backwards when it comes to the finances. But it's no different than what other people are going through out here. They're going through their financial woes and what they're going through. Some people going through separations, divorces, all type of things out here. Whereas though they need to put their story out here. So that's why I say YouTube is taking people out of a bad situation and setting them up for a win. But that win does not come easy. It don't come from just out of thin air. It comes from actually you putting your life into overdrive and you actually doing the work. Then YouTube is not going to do the work for you. So if you're looking at these stories, some of these stories are not stories of people sometimes just using YouTube just to make money. It's actually a journey of them actually putting the work in. Because remember, when you look at the dude Dante, the reason why I keep mentioning him is because as a guy, I can relate to some of the things he was talking about. I can't relate to everything, but I get what he's talking about. It's not that it's not relatable. It's very relatable. It's just that sometimes something that's relatable, you don't have to go through it, but you understand it, because most people understand the struggle of, let's be real, making six figures, you still end up going through a struggle. And I can definitely tell you, just because you make a certain amount of money does not mean you can't lose a lot of it when you make it throughout the year. Anything can happen. Sometimes it's not bad habits. It can be anything, a sickness, anything. And the dude Dante made me realize that he's been on YouTube for some time. Not a year, not two, more than that. He's been on YouTube for a minute, a nice amount of years. And he also talked about his failures, of how he was posting, doing vlogs, and it was not working for him. Now, don't get it twisted. Vlogs might work for some. Any information you gather and you able to dissect, you able to you're able to utilize it, use it. But remember something, you gotta take it with a grain of salt. Everything don't work for everybody. You might be somebody that got a fan base that can do vlogs. It'll work. But what I'm saying is, I'm talking to the people that are in a bad financial situation and they trying to better themselves. One thing that you should take away from these videos though, YouTube was not their all and be all. They did not rely on YouTube heavily because they did not make it within a year. They made it and it took a couple of years, some a nice amount of years, like 4 to 5. And the reason is unknown, do not know. Everybody road is different, so you cannot measure it. Because I'm gonna tell you something, watching the dude Dante videos, I actually felt like, oh damn, I'm gonna shoot my video in the beginning, I'm gonna try to do some of his stuff and mimic what he was doing. Well, sorry to tell you, it did not work. And I'm gonna tell you why. He already had years in. That was one thing. So he had a lot of subscribers. That's another. He also had a lot of videos. You know what a lot of videos show you? Consistency. Consistency shows you that dude has been putting in a lot of work. It's the same thing with the DoorDash. When you look at her videos, she had a lot of shorts and she also did skits. I don't know if you can categorize it as skits. Yeah, I guess so. They were funny videos. At the end of the day, that's an audience that you still bringing over to your long form. So when you look at that, it shows you both parties have consistency and they posting on the regular. Even if they took at least a week or two off, it's still consistent because they still have a lot of videos that you can consume and you can look at, and you can also be very informative of the information that they give you. So don't take away from their production. Boy, it's early in the morning. And look at that and say, I can mimic what they do. You can, but check this out. You can't just start a channel and think that you're just gonna just sky off, just rocket off into the atmosphere and think your channel just gonna blow. It's not, because for one, you don't have those subscribers and you don't have the watch time. And in order to get that watch time, you need people to look at your channel, which means you're not just gonna skip over everybody. You're not. So I had to realize that. You gotta get that out of your head. So now YouTube is starting to be a lot funner. So it starts to become fun that way. It does. Because if you're going to depend on it in the beginning, it's not going to work because you're doing it for the wrong reasons. You still want to make revenue, but you want to do it while you are on your job or going to your job or off of work at home like me right now. And you still have income coming in because their videos show you why you have to have something going on while you're doing this. Because if you don't, what is a video that's being uploaded that give you no type of informative information when you have nothing to look forward to? You can't just do, well, to me, when I look at videos, I can't look at a video from somebody that's 10 years old and they telling you like how they became rich. Let's be honest. It's not going to fly. It's not going to work, and it's not going to resonate with most people, because most people out here in the world have lives and they've been through things. And if you've been through things, which means money, work, a loss, a hardship, people want to know how you can overcome these situations or problems. And these type of channels that you look at with DoorDash and Dante are the product of advancement and self-improvement. So hopefully my video was very informative to you, just giving an insight of what I feel and how you can kind of look at your trajectory of how you want to grow your channel and just keep being consistent.